always wanted to record in this cool space right here. It's like the back alleyways of the coffee shop that I frequent quite often. But I feel very vulnerable in this space because it's a public space. People could walk by. But I figured, well, trying to do things outside of my comfort zone, so I'm just gonna record in this space in public, and if somebody comes by, then so be it. I'll just look weird. That's normal. I want to talk today about forgiveness, because that is an issue that needs to be addressed when it comes to freeing yourself up to really be the best version of yourself, or become, move further along in that journey. Men in particular have, I guess, it's like a wound oftentimes from not feeling like they're good enough, because a lot of times the relationship between a son and a father can be neglected, or there can be abuse or things like that. And so that can create in a boy a wound where he lives his life trying to be good enough or be successful, striving. But have you seen the documentary I'm Not Your Guru by Tony Robbins? He addresses this girl in that documentary who's got like daddy issues, and apparently her dad was an alcoholic, and she sort of got one of these wounds where she felt like she was not good enough. And so Tony addresses her, and he's like, basically he was helping her walk through her emotions and that wound, and kind of saying, there are things that you should be thankful for, that your dad did provide for you. And he still had a drug problem, and there were things that she was still thankful for, things that she could appreciate about her dad. And then he was like, you also need to be thankful for the things that you feel were lacking there. Be thankful for even the abuse that you suffered, or the neglect that you had to endure, because those things in themselves actually created the character and qualities that you have in your life. They made you who you are. You wouldn't be the strong person that you were if it wasn't for those things. You wouldn't have the same kind of inner strengths and qualities and abilities that you have as a result of the things that you went through. I kind of talked about that in the religion video, number 7. I went through this long religious phase in my life, and at first it was like I was focusing a lot on the things that I suffered from that experience. But then as I went along, I realized that there were basically that I wouldn't be the same person I was if it wasn't for that experience. I wouldn't have the knowledge that I have. I wouldn't have the kind of spiritual strength that I have, and so on and so forth. So some of these negative things in our lives can actually, not just can, but should and do have the ability of creating in us certain qualities and strengths, and they, instead of looking at them as negatives, we can look at them as positives. So, with that said, I would just challenge you to look at things in your life. Sometimes people allow these things to really kind of drag them along, or they drag them along with them through life, and they never like cut those ties. They never look at the positive side of these things and allow them to become the wind beneath their wings, rather than like the dead weight that drags them down to the ground. Think of, somebody, what was that? Corey Tenboom, whatever, who went through the Holocaust. And, there were some people who went through the Holocaust, which I think is one of the greatest, it's just unfathomable. My mind can't even wrap itself around that sort of thing. But these people that went through it, some of them became very embittered and angry and violent, and they just let that thing drag them down in life. But people like Corey Tenboom, who came out of it and found in her heart forgiveness for even her captors, people who had abused her and her family and people so violently throughout that time. She became a great spokesman for forgiveness. And it's like, you can go one way or you can go the other way. It just depends on the choice that you make, or the choices that you make. And it's like that with anything in our life that has been difficult. We can choose to let it drag us down, or we can just choose to like snip those ties. And that's forgiveness. That's just like letting it go, letting go. We've been talking a lot about letting go, or I've been talking a lot about letting go. And really, on a moment by moment basis, we need to learn to let go, but also like in these bigger areas, these larger issues that we have going on, there also needs to be a letting go and a learning. We need to allow these things to teach us they are teaching us. They're just built in there. They're a part of us. And so because they're there, just embrace it. It's a part of who you are. And basically I feel like we just need to like let it be. Let it go. It is what it is. It's another one of those, it is what it is. So be happy about it. Embrace it. Rejoice in it. You are who you are. It is what it is, because it was. And it will be. And it's just there. So instead of letting it be something that tethers you, untether it. Let it go. Release it. With that in mind, there was another thought that I was having right in the middle of that, and then somebody came along here and distracted me. I wish I could go back and look at what I just said and remind myself. I could do that, but then I would get stuck. So just letting go. I think I'm gonna have to stop. Hey, back in the camper. So got a little distracted there for a minute and totally lost my train of thought. It's really hard to do this in public places. I just couldn't keep focused. So finishing it up here in the camper, in the tin can. What I really wanted to say there, before I lost my mind, is that, learning to forgive people in your life who maybe had an influence or did not treat you like you felt you deserved to be treated, etc. Just kind of letting all that stuff go from the past is really important. And that might be a process. That might take time. But it can be done. Write letters. Send them or don't send them.
but I've found that to be helpful in my forgiveness journey. It's kind of making it official with people and also asking forgiveness. If you've done things that you feel regretful about or ashamed of or things along those lines, write a letter to that person that you would like to make amends with and send it or don't send it. It's probably better if you do, or if you at least sit down and talk to that person about whatever happened. Kind of make it official, like set the record straight, clean the slate. I found that to be very helpful. And then lastly, work on yourself and forgiving yourself. You know, it's time to start loving you just as you are right now. You don't have to be skinnier. You don't have to be more outgoing or more friendly or more courageous or look any differently or feel any differently or change anything. You can love who you are right now and begin that journey. Forgive yourself. Give yourself some space. And I'm totally talking to myself right now. I still mess up. I still blow it a lot. And I'm not yet at the, how do you say that? It's not that I'm not yet at the place where I want to be, because I am. I'm in the place where I want to be. But I've not yet perfected certain areas of my life. There's still things that I'm struggling with, and it's not like just because I'm aware of them and just because I'm being proactive with them, they just instantly go away. No, it's a process. We talked about that just floundering around. It's just like floundering around. And I need constant reminders that I'm going to blow it. And that's okay. It is what it is. So when I blow it, rather than just get real down on myself or give up the journey or whatever, feel like I will never accomplish my goals, etc. Finding that I just need to be more forgiving with myself and realize it's okay. It's just part of it. It's just the struggle. And it's okay. Relax. Let that go too. Just let that all go. All those things are in the past. Presently, things are great. Right? Can you love yourself presently? Can you love the people in your life presently? What else? I think that's about all I really wanted to say. Obviously, I'm going to have to clip these two videos together so you can get them all. I don't even know why I'm saying that. You're obviously going to see them together. So, anywho, I hope this little conversation has at least been uplifting or thoughtful to you in some way. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and these videos, I don't know that they are ground-shattering truths or anything. It's all been said before, probably in much better ways, more clearly. I'm just sharing because for me, it's helpful for me, for one thing. It's helpful for me to share. And secondly, I know that some of you are thinking about the things that I'm saying. You're watching these videos and enjoying them, and they're causing you to think about things in your life, and that's awesome. You've contacted me and told me about it, and that's much more than I could have ever expected when I set out on this journey. So to know that some of you are being impacted by these videos is just doubly encouraging to me. And, for others of you that are yeah, I know, I'm a doctor too. If it's at least stimulating thought for you, and reminding you of the things that you already know, then that's cool with me too. And that's really why I'm doing these videos, I think. Do I have other personal agendas? I don't really think I do. I think I'm being totally honest with myself as to why I'm doing these videos. But sometimes I ask myself, am I looking for some kind of affirmation? Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, am I doing these videos because I feel like I have some need to be good enough? Those are good, honest questions. I honestly don't feel like I'm struggling in those areas, but I don't know, they make me think. Like, why do we do the things we do? What kind of personal satisfaction do we get out of these things? Just a question. I don't know, I guess I'll talk to you. Oh, we're going on this trip this weekend to this really posh retreat resort thing. So my next video, I'll probably be all wrapped up in a terry cloth robe with slippers and like a mud mask and stuff. No, probably not. But it will be fun. I'll show you around. Bye-bye.